Tonight I would like to tell you one of the most inspiring personal stories I have ever experienced. It's about a friend that I know for over 10 years. And this friend is a person who everyone can relate to. He's a normal guy who's coming from an average family, and he's someone who is also always like to be in communities, surrounded by people, always like to help others. At the same time, he was good at school, so he's a good guy since he was at school until he graduated from the University of Computer Science. And at the same time, he was someone who has lots of sense of humor, and that's why many people were attracted to be around him. So, I had a good relationship with him. Since then, our relationship in 2017 started to deteriorate. And the reason is, at that time, I started being very enthusiastic about motivation speeches and self-development, etc. And I was thinking that I want to change my life by changing my environment, and I started from outside instead of inside out. So I started looking at my friends, and one of them is Adam, so his name is Adam. And I started talking to Adam in a way that I wanted him to change. I wanted him to be the person that I think is right. I wanted him to change in the right way, in my way. Of course, nobody likes to be forced to do anything. And the kind of discussions we had made our relationship different, and we had different interests since then. Moreover, also I had interest in spirituality. He was totally against this. He was only thinking about everything that's materialist. If anything that he cannot see, touch, or feel, then he does not believe in it. And that was the reason since 2017 until this year, we were not really in contact, so we talk every now and then, every month or sometimes years. And in May this year, I had a business trip next to his place. So I was thinking maybe I can have some chat with him, and I asked him if I can come over, and he welcomed the idea. I went to his place, and I saw this guy who usually very organized. His place was full of chaos. Nothing was in order. And the person who used to be always around people, I saw him really alone. He felt very lonely, and he told me he doesn't do anything other than just going to work. Even his work, he was hating his job, and he did not feel passionate about anything, and he did not have any purpose in life. Also, his mental and physical health was very concerning. This was May this year.
This is the maximum.
And I didn't expect him did not expect the situation to get worse. In only 1 month, in June, I called him, and he told me, Omar, I'm at the hospital. I couldn't sleep for over 40 hours because of recurring panic attacks. And he just went there to take any medicine that will make him just sleep. This was, of course, a short-term solution. He took some medicines, but it didn't last long. And after a short period, I heard that he had a car accident, and of course, he was fired by his job, like where he was working. After this, he had some consultation from the hospital, psychological support. And this was the first things that made him think about his life. And they asked him lots of questions that made him reflect on himself, and he started asking himself, what do I love? And why I am unhappy, although there are people all over the world that I know that they don't have anything. Sometimes they don't have even food to eat in the same day, but they are still happy. So what's wrong? He started thinking that in order to change, there is something that I have to change in myself. And in July, so after a month, we had a talk, and I saw him, he started being more curious, and he wanted to change something in himself. So I asked me, Omar, I know you like to read books. Can you let me know what are you reading? What do you advise me to read? At that time I was reading Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself for Joe Dispenza. I told him about this book. He said, okay, tell me more. One of the things I told him that I learned from this book, if I don't feel happy with myself, regardless of who I am with, if I don't feel happy from inside, then no relationship and no one can make me feel happy. And I was talking like, if anyone, many of friends here know me, I usually like talk about these ideas, and so I did not expect to have that impact on him. He told me after this that this was the first spark for him to start thinking, and then he bought the book. He started also reflecting on himself, and slowly the person who used to always be immersed with only material things and ideas started thinking that there is other dimensions in this life. And the person who was always separated from everyone, he just wanted to survive and wanted only to have sex, to just eat and sleep and drink, and that's it. I just have to survive in my whole life. He started thinking that there's something else, and he started being and feeling whole with everything that's around him. So he started thinking from his thoughts that in order to change, I have to give others. I have to give to the environment, to people, in order to change myself. And the most important thing that happened to Adam is not this book, and is not only these ideas. The most important thing is the decision he made, that regardless of what happens in my environment, regardless of who is around me, what people are doing around me, what circumstances I have, regardless of what happened in my past, and regardless of how long it will take for me to change my life, I decide right now to be happy. And from this moment, I will live my whole life feeling joy and thankful for everything that I have already. And these thoughts was the beginning of real change in Adam. Because right after he started giving others, although he did not have enough, let's say, because he was jobless, he started giving others, giving his family charities, and shortly after, because he was convinced that he's not feeling gladness, and he does not need anything to feel this wholeness, so he has already this in himself. He started giving others, and shortly after he started having a job that he did not dream about 6 months ago. Moreover, he started being very tidy, so his place was very clean and tidy, and that attracted lots of people around him. When he changed his environment, lots of his neighbors and friends, they started being attracted to him, and then he joined lots of communities and started getting in shape, joined sport clubs, and he started even dating there that also he did not imagine himself 6 months ago to even talk to. And most important thing, that this guy who was always funny and cheerful, who lost this smile in his face, he started coming back like the old cheerful personality. And because of this, he even started getting invited to have speeches like the one we have now, and he started inspiring others that you can change very fast sometimes, like within very few months your whole life can change when you start changing inside. And that was the most important thing for him. It was not important, everything that changed in his life, but the most important thing that he did not feel separate from everyone, because he feels that he's part of this universe, so he feels connected with everyone and everything around him, and he does not feel darkness because he feels whole, and he does not feel unworthy anymore because he feels from inside that he's worthy fully of joy and happiness.